Hello and welcome to BonkTable. I'm Mass in the Conquest Battle Report. I am still in Jeff's basement. I think I'm going to keep doing that because I think it's really funny. And also when Jeff watches these battle reports, he will probably also chuckle. So here's to you, Jeff. Actually, talking about Jeff, it's our game, so here's the list. So I'm playing Frenzy Flame. You love it. You hate it. I don't know. You're a person. We have no upgrades on any characters, but we do have a Raegh, who is going to be our warlord because he's going to give +2 seizing stands to all characters and command stands in our army. What is going to mean the Ardent Kirawa and the Magma Forge is going to count as 8 stands when all 4 stands are on a zone, but is actually pretty hard to kind of contest stand wise, and also makes it really easy to concentrate a small footprint in an area to just contest a bunch of stuff, what I do like. Raegh is running double hold warriors. Another benefit of the Raegh is that I believe in his, he is the warlord. So his unit, when they're on a zone, when you're with this army's warlord character currently attached to is within range. Yeah, so it doesn't even matter if he's on the zone, but as long as he is attached to a unit that is on the zone, they will seize it no matter what. What is really great of just kind of playing the whole Frenzied Flame game of applying pressure, not necessarily being aggressive, but just kind of like applying pressure and then seizing zones and taking over zones. You don't have tickets, you don't have any magic. The most magic you're casting is like on the Ardent, is it Dismay? Yeah, you're doing Dismay. What's my last one? Resolve, what's really good. Sometimes you cast Resolve, but Fear is another one where target enemy regiment cannot seize objective zones. You're kind of going back and forth from Dismay and Fear, and then sometimes casting Rancor to just get more seizing stands, because why not? We just need more. It can just score like that. It's really funny. But you're really just doing a whole positioning game. Ryan and I have kind of talked about this in the LVO podcast episode, where the Raegh Goons Frenzy Flame list should be played more as a kind of hold back and punishes people's pressure and aggro, but you also have pressure and aggro when you want to use it and are able to, like in the match we're about to showcase. However, Raegh, double hold warrior, double ironclad drake, both hold warriors get banners for free, and they have Vanguard 3 now, so that's the change. Then we got Ardent Kirawa, double Flame Berserk, and each one Magma Forge. The Kirawas are going to be in the Magma Forge. As for the units themselves, Flame Berserkers are great lights. They kind of have a stat line of a crazy medium, and they're a light, and now they can soar with the Raegh. So they're pretty aggressive. They're pretty good for what they're kind of doing, of getting up the table, blocking off stuff, board denial, applying pressure and aggro, of killing enemy lights and mediums. Sometimes they have troubles into heavies, especially highly defensive things, because they can shrug off that amount of attacks. But if you can kind of flank something in the side, you can still get in a bunch of damage, and sometimes even hitting it from the front and pinning something is also really good with them, once that later in the game happens. The Flame Berserkers by the end of the game tend to just kind of all die off, while the game is or the rest of the list is held up by the Ironclad Drake, what is the Master of 2, Cleave 2, Brutal 2, Evasion 2, and Brutal Impact 2. He's the Master of 2. It's a great offensive piece to just kind of secure and close out a game and just blow up stuff. Like 6 impacts with Brutal 2 and Terrifying 2 is going to do a bunch of damage. 12 attacks with Cleave 2, Relentless Blows, and then also Terrifying 2 is going to be a bunch more damage. Things sometimes like quite durable, sometimes not. It's got 17 wounds, it's pretty good. Evasion 2, no Harden, so Defense 3 is usually going down to Evasion 2. And then for Resolve, it's not fearless, what's always funny. Like, the thing causes fear, but it itself is not fearless. And I always chuckle when people are like, Terrifying 2, and I'm like, yeah, let me just take the Resolve. Ogb is Eternal, friendly character and command stands with any of this thing gate flurry, so they can reroll their attack rolls. Really nice on the Ardent Kirawa and the Magma Forge to get more hits. It also pops up on the Flame Berserkers, but usually by that time the Ironclad is going to be closer to the Magma Forge, just hammering into stuff and applying damage. That's really all I gotta say about this list. Let's go on to Jeff's list. Jeff is playing Agincourt, 100k. It's a Feudal Theist list. He has a Theist Priest who is the dynastic ally, so you get March of the Faithful, so everyone's going to get Divine Purpose. The Warlord is the Mounted Noble Lord. He is going to make everyone also Theist, so that you get Divine Purpose on everybody. March of the Faithful, Veteran and Theist regiments gain Divine Purpose. What is your first march/charge is +2 inches to the movement itself. what's really nice to getting up on the table, and also long bombing and damage. In addition, friendly Theist regiments within 12 inches of a Theist character gain Indomitable 1. The Mounted Noble Lord is now considered Theist, as well as the other Noble Lords, so they're going to be all projecting Indom 1 bubbles. The Archangel is also Theist, so it will gain Indomitable when beside a character, what's always funny. Then we got the family traditions of, vets to his warband, and you also gain the sub-faction rule to all feudal stuff. So that even counts these guys over here in the second warband, which is just really nice. So, Theist Priest, upgrades, get in position. You get flank. This is not what it means. It is wrong in the army builder. You get flank. That's really it. He's going to be sitting in a unit of 4 Crusaders who are veterans, and then also has a shield and spear Archangel. The healing from the shield Archangel, I don't think really came up. Jeff and I did go to the Tournament of Love. This is recorded after the fact. We did talk about it, and Jeff was like, well, I could have healed some longbows, but they were broken. So, I don't know. I don't find regen on the shield to be that exciting. It's you're grabbing the shield for +1 defense because this thing is super tanky and it'll keep it alive. The regen bubble is just icing on the cake, but that icing rarely, if ever, hits, and it's just been kind of sad about it. Archangel, still a great regiment, still a great piece, still a great monster. It's the easiest access of Cleave 2 in the faction. Also, it's easier to apply than the Steel Legion because the Steel Legion just kind of get shot up and have weaker defensive stats. And this thing is still applying Cleave 2 on 12 attacks, even on 1 wound. And it's faster because it triggers its own Divine Purpose on top of being March 7. Good job, it. Mounted Noble Lord with his 2 units of Helsenites. So he is an Olfin Sword Mounted Noble Lord. He's got a 5 block of Helsenites he'll be sitting in. Then MSU Helsenites. And then 2 veteran 4 stanza longbows. We're getting to the Agincourt part of this list. Followed up by another Mounted Noble Lord and his MSU of House of Knights, and then another 4 block of paid for veteran longbows. So Jeff has 12 longbows. I didn't like 5 or 10, but Jeff has said 12 is the correct number. We will find out in this game if 12 is the right number, but it is a lot of shots. It's from very far away. If Jeff runs them 12 inches instead of 13, all his House of Knights can leap them. I forget if he does that or not. I didn't really check, to be honest. He moved them up. You'll see in the game. Archangel's a nice anchor piece. House of Knights are great blockers. His anvil, not his anvil, his hammer House of Knight units probably going to do a bunch of work if it's free to do so, followed up by all the longbow shots. Theist Priest in the Crusader block is just really there to keep him alive and also keep him safe. And he can sit in the back and buff stuff and applying Divine Purpose and get blessed out on all those House of Knights for 1 turn, because what's worse than Defense 4 rerolling 6s? Either Defense 4 rerolling everything or Clash 4 rerolling everything. Probably using it defensively, though, let's be honest here. Okay, let's go to the table. I'm going to skip the scenario because I forgot to add it in. That's bad on me. I'll do this on my laptop. All right, so the scenario we're playing today. We are playing, I think this is Breakout. I don't know, I don't remember. Anyway, I'll do it in red. Your friendly zone is on the left. Always remember this. I chanted this to myself. So I am blue, Jeff is red, and I'm using the wrong colors for them. But I usually use red to represent myself. So I'm going to do that. And you usually use blue to represent my opponent. There you go. And then we got this neutral objective in the middle. I'm just hanging out. So you have to kill your opponent's objective to score their zone. I believe it's stated in the tournament pack, to be honest, because it's locking down that zone. But your opponent can score it, so Jeff can score the zone freely, but I have to kill his objective. I can score the zone freely, but he has to kill my objective. As for terrain, house obstructions. We got 3 hindering, obscuring forests. I'll do that in green so you can see a little better. There we go. That's a 3. Well done. We got 2 hills. Boop, boop. Right here. And then I think this is that new dangerous water stuff over there. Stay away from that. It's bad. As for the scenario itself, I've been finding lately with the couple lists that I've played on the scenario that it's more advantageous to take over your zone, push your opponent off, and take the neutral objective, and then kind of play a decline flank while like still contesting your opponent's objective in zone. So they can't just free take it, because you don't want them to get points. and just kind of being there and be like, well, you gonna take it, or I'm gonna charge you, or or I'm hiding in the forest. Like you gotta come up and take it. Like I'm never gonna come out. You're not scoring points. Like I can just sit in this forest for the next 30 years. Stuff like that. And then after you take the neutral objective and secure your side, you just swing over and like kill their objective and take over their zone at the end of the game. I've played this 3 times, 3 maybe 4 times now. The reason why Jeff and I chose this scenario for this game is that during the Tournament of Love, we're going to be playing it. So I hope you're excited. You're going to see this one again when I do the Tournament of Love recording. That's for me and for you. Let's get to turn 1. Here's turn 1. So good things and bad things. Well, actually, it's kind of good overall, to be honest. So Jeff gets all 3 units of longbows. I get 3 out of 4 Flame Berserkers. I believe I win the roll-off. I tell Jeff he can go first. He's like, okay. He drops one of his longbows. I believe he does it. This one right here. He drops that guy. I'm like, wow, I really don't want to go over there. My game plan is to take over my objective zone so I can start scoring points. I'm like, okay. I will run up my unit of Flame Berserkers into the woods to keep myself safe. Jeff then counters deploy another unit of longbows in the middle. I'm like, wow, cool. I'm probably going to go fight over the objective in the middle as well as fighting those longbows. So I will then drop this unit of Flame Berserkers right here so I can do so. Jeff then decides to drop another unit of longbows. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to have to go deal with those guys at some point while also protecting my zone and making sure that there's a unit scoring in it. So I'll drop this unit of Flame Berserkers here to contest it. Okay, so let's talk about this positioning. Jeff is spreading out his threats a lot and doing a lot of board denial. But the thing about the shooting is that you're volley 2. Like, let's be honest here. You're volley 2. You're going to be shooting really far away. You are 4 times 3. Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. 12. Yeah, 13 shots. AP1 on volley 2. I'm like, yeah, you're probably not hitting a ton. I'm sitting just outside of his shoot range. He's going to have to move again to shoot me right away. I got 1 unit of Flame Berserkers that are going to be in the woods, so that's going to be half shots. And also I can move them up still in the woods and scoring this zone for turn 2, what's going to be really powerful for me. And that's going to be an easy play to kind of bait shots, what will free up other Flame Berserkers who are more out in the open to then run up the table and try and get into those longbows, because I need to shut down his shooting as quickly as possible. And then hopefully with the next turn I'll get enough cards to kind of contest this zone with whatever I have over there, because I got a lot of force on that left side. What'll really come out, and once it gets into the longbows, kind of just eat them up. I just need to survive like a turn or 2 of shooting until I get there. Jeff and I talked about this after, and I was kind of like, well, maybe you should have, I'll do it in yellow, like double layered your longbows and just gone for like taking over that half of the table and just giving up that other side, and then like securing your zone, taking the neutral objective and pushing out, or even doubling up in the middle. Because when I was talking to him about this, is like he spread too far out, what allowed me to really pick where I wanted my fights while allowing him to reinforce. Because this unit, I'll do it in, we can do it in black, screw it. This unit over here is just so far out of the way that it's not going to contribute shots to the main, or to like the current fight on the left side of the table. All right, let's go to turn 2. Here's turn 2. So I get my Argent Cura and Magma Forge and another unit of Flame Berserkers. Yay! Jeff gets his Crusaders and Theists because they have flank, and then Character and House of Knights. So I believe I let Jeff go first. Jeff starts doing some cards, starts bringing some stuff onto the table. I start doing some cards. I start bringing on some stuff on the table. So like my first card is the Character. Then it's the Magma Forge to get into the wood, so I'm safe from the shots. Then it's the other unit of Flame Berserkers. Jeff kind of like dirtles with one of his longbow units. Brings up his Crusaders to get the Theist Priest kind of in the middle there to support everybody. What's a good play? Bring on these flank Household Knights. He can't jump his own guys because he marched them all the way up. You can kind of see it there. I'll undo this so that you can see it a little better. But like, yeah, you can kind of see it. Like, I'll do it in green. Like there's still some of it overlapping there, but it's not the greatest. So either he had to like move them back to only 12 inches or 12.4 and not go all the way. I then move these Flame Berserkers up. They absorb one of the shots. I forget who does it. I think it might have been these guys who shot. Nope, they did not, because I'm looking at the other wounds. So they take the middle shots, and, you know, they take a wound or two. What allows me to run up one of my other units of Flame Berserkers. I believe I choose these guys, and then, or, you know, maybe it's the other way around. Probably the other way around, to be honest. Either it's the other way around, or he had to move up and shoot. I don't really think so. I can't remember, to be honest. But anyway, these guys got moved up and they shot at them. What allowed me for my Flame Berserkers move up line to get it within range of a charge later. Pardon me, doing an orange, so that's a charge later. This will be a charge later, and so on. So I can start putting threats onto those longbows to hopefully shut them down before Jeff runs something to get in my way. On the right side here, I'll do it in red. Magma Forge, you know, locking down the zone. If Jeff puts anything in there, Magma Forge and Flame Berserkers can swing over. He only has House of Knights, and like Magma Forge and Flame Berserkers should be able to kill House of Knights and then push into Longbow, so he either has to reinforce it, or we have to play chicken with each other while the left side of the table develops. That's turn 2, let's go to turn 3. Here's turn 3. I get both my Ironclad Drakes, my other unit of Magma Forge and Kurawa, and my both units of Hold Warriors. That's my entire list. Jeff, on the other hand, gets just the Archangel, and that's it. Doesn't get any more House of Knights. Really sucks. I win the roll off. I go first. I either, you know, maybe one of us went first. I forget. Anyway, one of my Flame Berserks go into this unit of Longbows, does a bunch of damage. Longbows take Aura of Death, but they don't. I think they got shot. So I think Jeff might have, like, I might have gone first. And I might have charged these Flame Berserkers in to shut down those Longbows. And then Jeff activates the other Longbows, who then shoot at those Flame Berserkers. Then those other Flame Berserkers go in and deal a bunch of damage, but don't kill them. But does free up flank charge from the Theist Priest and the Crusaders. But they kind of whiff a lot of their attacks and kind of fail there. Really sucks on their end. The other unit of Longbows whiff a lot of attacks and don't really do a ton of damage to those Flame Berserks. That's good for me. I then start moving stuff into position because the main things are done. Magma Forge, you know, still hanging out the edge of that woods there. Jeff, not really having that many great shots, you know, put some shots into them. Nothing really happens. He then, at some point in the game, I bring on these Hold Warriors on the side here to bait these House of Knights. Jeff doesn't take it. He just kind of sits there. I don't blame him because I could have, like, slammed him really hard with my Magma Forge and everything. But after he decides to sit there, I move up into a more aggressive position with the Magma Forge, with the Longbows and shoot. Another play on my end is I just side march in 2x2 this Hold Raegh block, or the Hold Raegh and his Hold Warriors to score that zone, and freeing up the other Flame Berserks, as you can see, who ran off that zone to then apply pressure to the middle, followed up by the Ironclad Drake, who's looking to kill that objective and then go for the rest of them. And the Kura and Magma Forge to kind of, I'll just do it in green, you know, kind of just like spread out whatever way they need to go to support the rest of the fight. On the right side, Jeff, you know, finally drops the Archangel, running up there, you know, kind of in the middle of where the lines are. I think Jeff is realizing that the left side's not really working out for him, so he's going to redeploy to find a better slot to do stuff with. And also, the Divine Purpose Bubble will affect a lot of people. I counter with my own Ironclad Drake. So those two will get into a fight, and then I'm kind of hoping that I'll do it in yellow. This Ironclad Drake can be pulled off to help after the objective is killed, and then I can have two Drakes versus an Angel, what's going to be more in my favor, and then there's Magma Forge who can support, and then the Ironclad Drake, if the Angel doesn't commit early or just kind of sits around, I can get this Ironclad Drake to commit into the objective and kill it, so that will get me points and force the combat that we're all looking for. So far, turn 3, really aggressive, putting a lot of pressure on Jeff. He doesn't have very many defenders to keep his range units safe. They're kind of spread out and not in very good spots. And I'm just putting a lot of pressure and kind of squeezing the net on him. So let's go to turn 4. All right, turn 4. So Jeff gets his other two units of House of Knights. So we got the MSU, what are right in front of the Flame Berserkers, who, as you can tell, obviously killed those Longbows. Goodbye, Longbows. Sad to be you. Then he gets his big block of House of Knights on the right edge of the board. We will talk about this in a moment because this is a misplay. As for myself, we start off easy. We start doing Flame Berserks. Flame Berserks, kill those longbows. Other unit of Flame Berserks gets into a fight with these Crusaders. For these Flame Berserkers, they just die. I think they might have done a clash or something. Nah, I think they just die. Crusaders, I believe this is the bless turn. They bless, do a bunch of damage, and then charge off into these Flame Berserks to kind of hold them back. These Flame Berserks do a bunch of damage back, killing off a bunch of them. Yay. In the middle, we start kind of jockeying for position. I have my hold warriors kind of jock around. I'll do it in orange here. We'll just do a line. Jeff finally commits his House of Knights, kills them off, reforms as you can see. Let me get rid of those lines so you can see a little better. I then throw in my Flame Berserks who stab. Don't really do a ton of damage. Defense 4 with Blessed is really tanky and hard to deal with. One of the things, though, is that Jeff slaps his Archangel into the zone. I haven't moved my other pieces yet, but he kind of puts in the zone. His longbows behind, they shot at the Hold Warriors who were over here to lighten them up and kind of allow the House of Knights to just charge and kill them on the impacts. So that's why I've kind of gone a little aggressive on the left side, so just trying to take over that zone. I put the Magma Forge in. I have them in such a way that they could have gone into the House of Knights. But the other one now is that the Archangel, if she goes into them, she'll hit the objective and stop. If I go into her, I believe I might be able to swing around, touch her, and then we might be able to close weirdly enough. I don't think so just off this photo. It's been a while since I recorded this game happened to remember exactly the details on that. But currently, I know for sure we both can't get into her or get into each other. So we're kind of just stalemating, and I'm just preventing scoring on the zone. What allows me to shove my Ironclad Drake so that I can hopefully get a flank charge into the side of that Archangel. And I think I also have this if that the Archangel reforms and charges my Drake first. The Magma Forge might be able to swing around enough to kind of hit the back end of that Archangel and then do damage in the back. So we're kind of trying to pincer the Archangel so she can't move, she has no good choices, and so on. Longbows, you shoot at somebody. I either shoot at these Flame Berserks or you shoot at this Drake. I forget exactly what you shot at, but you guys go over there. Other Ironclad just takes the objective, kills it. I'll just do it in green. That allows me to push in. I'll do it in black, into these Crusaders or into those Longbows, clear up the middle, and then I can swing that Drake around wherever I need to be. In red, Hold Warriors, they just reform. And then move over a bit. I should have been more aggressive moving this way and trying to counter the House of Knight bus. Jeff's issue with that House of Knight bus is that it can't actually wheel away to get away from the board edge, sadly, because every time he tries to wheel it, the back stand will clip out of the end and then he goes off the table, so he's just kind of stuck there and it has to jimmy around with his position a little better to kind of get out of that spot. So this is one of the reasons why I don't try and edge myself right up to the edge of the board. I try to give myself a half inch, to an inch gap so that I can actually wheel and move stuff around. In response to that, I'll just do it in orange. The Magma Forge and Kurowa start heading that way because my Flame Berserker unit hasn't really done into that House of Knight unit. There's another House of Knight unit Flame Berserkers are going to fight. I am scoring and taking a point lead, and I've taken out the objective, I'm scoring that zone, but House of Knights are just kind of taking a little longer maybe to kill. I'm not sure about if the Flame Berserkers are going to be able to do it, but Magma Forge should be able to kill them with Cleave 2. I just need to get there and I just need to set up for it. So now I'm trying to make those plans there to get ready for when that hit comes from these various House of Knights and hopefully just kind of lock them down so they don't get the charge clash. All right, let's go to turn 5. Here's turn 5. I activate, I believe, my Drake first. Or, yeah, maybe my Drake. So I initially charge this Drake into the back end. And the reason why I do that is to get rid, just to deny my opponent cards, just so they have less things to do each turn, and I have more activation, so I can start baiting them out and setting up positioning better. This also draws the Archangel away, because now she can't see the Drake. So she has to do a full 180 reform, and she still can't get into the Magma Forge. So I'm like, oh, that's going to be a safe spot, because she's only going to do like 3 or 4 damage to the Ironclad. She reforms, charges in the back later in the turn, does only 3 to 4. What allows me to slide these Magma Forge over. What will allow me to then charge into the butt end of the Archangel. So then she'll just be evasion 2, and I can do a bunch of damage and -1 resolve her, and hopefully do enough damage to kill her. Other fights would go on, you know, Hustle Knights into Flame Berserks, you know, we kind of fight back. I don't really do a ton of damage there. Hustle Knights into Flame Berserks, I lose a stand, he loses a stand, yay. Things in the middle go on. My Flame Berserks decide to clash, not inspire, and because I only need to do like 3 damage, I fail, and the Crusader and Theist Priest live, what causes me to send my Drake in to kill off that unit. So I just charge in, and the impacts. Do I charge in? Maybe the charge clash. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. Kill that off. Longbows, you know, they're still shooting. I think they're shooting at these Flame Berserks. That's fine. On the left side, I could have positioned this better. I could have like maybe done another reform, and then I'll just do it in orange, like shove these guys over more or something. It's not the greatest, to be honest. Like, Magma Forge and Kurawa are coming up to support. Jeff, you know, runs his Hustle Knights further down the table because he's trying to look for a side charge into me and kind of sweep across in the back line, what's going to be really good. So we're kind of jockeying for position there. So, like, if Jeff's Hustle Knights break out from their entrapment currently, like, he can do a lot of damage. I don't know if he'll be able to catch up in points and deal with the Drakes, but he'll start doing a lot of damage. He's just been kind of stuck there, and I need him not to charge clash me. And so far on 2 of the 3 units is doing really well. On turn 6 we'll find out if I can do it for 3 for 3. However, still score the zone, still up in points, and that's all that matters. Let's go next turn. Here's the next turn. Right off the bat, I believe, I forget who wins the roll-off. I might have won the roll-off, and I go for the Archangel. That's like the main thing that I was doing. So Magma Forge, you know, -1 resolve, charge in the ass. Archangel takes a bunch of damage, and the Drake goes and stabs her, and she dies. So good job on that. In response, Jeff kills off these Flame Berserks, what allows him to now have free reign. But I do have Magma Forge and Ironclad on that side, who can kill that objective, take over that zone, and hopefully the 2 units can deal with those Hustle Knights. On the left, Jeff reform charges into my Hold Warriors in the flank, just does a ton of damage, and they just die. And I'm like, oh, sweet. However, my follow-up is charging him with the Magma Forge, who kill off 2 stands in the back. That's really good. The other Drake just charges into the Longbows, kills them on the impact, and does a reform 180. I think this was a misplay, to be honest. I think I should have just like wheeled marched around instead. Oh, you know what? I'll do an orange because that's our should have done color. So wheel marched around to the side here and gone for these Hustle Knights this way. The reason why I didn't do that is because this one Flame Berserker just like refuses to die and has been slowly killing off Hustle Knights. That also allows me to just reform and send the other Flame Berserkers that way to hopefully, you know, keep them back. And I should have just had that Ironclad Drake going behind, but I'm also worried about those Hustle Knights in the bottom left. I'll do it in yellow over here. So I'm thinking, you know, this Ironclad Drake can come over there and help that out at some point. But overall, still scoring the zone. That's all that matters. Still taking options away from my opponent. That's all that matters. Now I just gotta get into the cleanup phase of killing these stupid Hustle Knights because they take forever to die. Here we go, turn 7. Hustle Knights and Magma Forge fight it out. We're just kind of stalling, but I am scoring that zone. The other Hustle Knights, you know, clash, then charge, kill off 1 unit, get stuck in with another, kill off a stand, but frees up enough room for a march charge from the Drake, getting around that building into the Hustle Knights, doing a bunch of damage. Then my Drake, I believe Jeff kind of like reforms and maybe goes for a charge and fails. I forget exactly what happens, but I know my Ironclad Drake like reform charges into the flank, locking them down, doing some damage, while the Magma Forge don't go for the objective, but they just kind of sit on the other side, so there's not enough space here for Jeff to jump it. And still scoring the zone, still kind of locking everything down. Let's go to turn 8. Here's turn 8. Good things will go on. Magma Forge, you know, cast spells, inspire, clash, kill off that big bus of Hustle Knights, killing the Warlord. Sorry guys, you're dead now. And still scoring that zone. This Drake kills off that last remaining Hellsel Knight, so that frees that up. The other Hellsel Knights reform and kill off my Drake. What kind of sucks is I kind of wanted him to do a bunch of things, but I do just March Charge my Magma Forge into the side of those Hellsel Knights, ready to kill them next turn because he's only got 2 health left. And I have a big unit of Magma Forge in the flank, so that should be able to do it, because I'll be ignoring the shield. You know, Dean Cleave 2, he's down to defense 1, he's got 2 health left. Like, this should be in the bag. Should be. We always know how dice hate me. Alright, let's go to turn 9. Here's turn 9. Magma Forge, get the drop, kill these guys, and at that point we call it. I do see if I can make a play with the Drake to get and, like, you know, charge clash the zone. Turn 10 and maybe like kill that objective. I won't be able to, just because the Magma Forge have to reform and then charge and clash the zone or the ejector marker to score that zone, so I'll never score that. But Jeff didn't score that at all, so I believe the only points you get is for Warlord kill. So let's go to the score. Here's the score: 31-2. Pretty good. Good game against Jeff with Dweghom versus 100k. Some of the mistakes early on that I capitalized on was that Jeff spread out his shooting. We did talk about it at the end of the game that he should have kind of clumped them up to try and take over 2/3 of the table with his shooting. He just needed to protect it better. Having that one unit of longbows way off to the side and allowing me to just get Flame Berserkers on it without any support allowed me to kill it without anything really contesting it. He did put Hellsel Knights right behind it, but that's fine. You're now stuck in with Flame Berserkers for like 2 to 3 turns while I score zones. Another little mistake was the Hellsel Knights on the left side, the bus getting stuck on trying to wheel. Just, you know, move your stuff over so that you don't have to deal with that stuff. I think a good play from my end was on the right side, trying to bait the other Hellsel Knight unit. It didn't pan out as well as I thought it would, just because Jeff put that Archangel in as well the turn he went for those Hold Warriors. So I kind of had to still defend myself against that thing, but then I, you know, snuck the Ironclad into the back there to just cause a bunch of havoc and deal with his back line and not dealing with the Archangel directly. I think Jeff did a good job kind of covering his longbows in the middle. I think the Hellsel Knights could have, like, the other unit of Hellsel Knights could have ran up into the middle and then, like, hopped them and then just push down the middle and just give up the left side and kind of, like, push out through the middle and right side would have been a better play. So, also, like, Hellsel Knights with Indom and Blessed and all that, they just take forever to kill. Like, they're around forever. You really just need to, like, tidy or March Charge them or, like, Charge Clash them so that they can't get their charge off. Divine Purposes mean they're going to be coming from downtown with that 9-inch charge. Still really powerful, still really good. I like it a lot. But just the positioning of just kind of, like, locking down what Jeff can do and then killing off his range, then killing off his melee worked really well and led to a victory. So, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Join the BonkTable Discord in the description below. Go listen to the podcast, and I hope everyone has a great day. Bye!